Article 8 of the Declaration on the Right to Development adopted by the UN General Assembly Resolution 41/128 on the 4th of December 1986 states the following, and here I'm quoting: "States should undertake at the national level all necessary measures for the realization of the right to development and shall ensure, inter alia, equality of opportunity for all, their access to basic resources, education, health services, food, housing, employment, and the fair distribution of income. Effective measures should be undertaken to ensure that women have an active role in the development process. Appropriate economic and social reforms should be carried out with a view to eradicating all social injustices." That is the premise of the UNDP and the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development's Egypt Human Development Report. This report was absent for the past 10 years, and on Tuesday it was issued in a magnanimous event in the new administrative capital. Such diagnostic reports strengthen the fact that what has been achieved to date is just the beginning, a new beginning for the new republic. Good evening. You're watching the Business Insider. I'm Ayman Salah. Our weekly program tackles events affecting economies and business, and we aim to bring you the inside story. Welcome back to the Business Insider. Let's start with our news for this week. The first, tourism workers in Greater Cairo will receive their vaccination starting this week. Vaccine registration for tourism sector employees in Cairo and in Giza start this week, according to the head of the Tourism Chamber at the Federation of Egyptian Industries, Adel El Mosri. Around 60% of those working in the sector in other governorates have already been vaccinated. In May, the government revealed the completion of vaccinations for tourism workers in the Red Sea Governorate. And the second and final news item is that the government has allocated 8 billion Egyptian pounds for export subsidies during the current fiscal year, after having paid out 28 billion Egyptian pounds in arrears to exporters between March 2020 and June 2021. Around 2,500 exporting companies were eligible for the immediate cash payment initiative for overdue dues, with the Export Development Fund, a subsidy allocated to the export sector, reflecting the state's keenness to stimulate exports and contribute to providing the necessary liquidity to ensure the sustainability of the production cycle. The payment was made possible through the cooperation with the banking sector, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and the Export Development Fund. We'll be back. Welcome back. You're watching the Business Insider. Tonight we are discussing agricultural development in light of the development reports, the Human Development Report that was issued on Tuesday. We want to understand where is the agricultural sector from all of this. So I have the pleasure to be joined by Dr. Mohamed Fathy Salem, Professor of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in Sadat University. A pleasure having you on the show here tonight.
Thank you for the invitation.
Let's watch this report and then start our discussion.
A continuous and upward growth in the agricultural area and its productivity is currently being witnessed. For decades, the country suffered from an erosion of the cultivated area until the adoption of a large number of projects simultaneously. Those include the New Delta and the Future of Egypt that began production, while the daily achievements in that sector are a sight for sore eyes. The size of the projects, the performance rates, and the returns of the development plans and programs, along with the numbers, attest to such achievements, especially since Egypt relied for a long time on 8 million acres of cultivated land. In recent years, the country added more than 2 million acres to that area through the 1.5 million acres and the New Delta project, as well as a national project for greenhouses and projects in Sinai, as well as land reclamation in the desert in some governorates. The government has embarked on controlling infringements and preventing land erosion while developing agricultural irrigation and productivity systems in the old and new lands, leading to growth of agricultural production rates, especially for strategic crops and basic needs. Currently, exports of vegetables and fruits increased, while imports of many commodities and food products declined. Agricultural investment is now more attractive to national and foreign capital, while its impact on other sectors such as livestock and poultry investment is becoming more apparent. The agricultural boom is leading to a self-sufficiency in foreign currency, consuming commodities, and growth continues due to the agricultural boom. Greenhouse projects in the Western Desert and other areas represent a major achievement for agricultural activity, and the expansion of land offering eligible for agricultural investment support this path. This, along with wastewater treatment plants, the New Delta project, and others, symbolize a clear commitment in the country's agricultural strategy.
Welcome back to the Business Insider. Tonight, what we are discussing is the development in the agricultural sector. I have the pleasure to be joined by Dr. Mohamed Fathy Salem, Professor of Organic Agriculture in Sadat University. I apologize for the mishap. A pleasure having you on the show here tonight. We want to tackle a number of issues. But first, the timely one is the issuance of the Human Development Report, which was absent for the past 10 years. On Tuesday, it was issued by the Ministry of Planning and the United Nations Development Program here in Egypt. How does this fit with the country's agriculture strategy?
Thank you for this kind invitation. It is a good pleasure for me to join you for this series. According to UNDP report yesterday, a third of the activities belong to agriculture sector, and when you go movement for human development here in Egypt, you know that 50% of our population in Egypt working with agriculture. It means when I mention with you agriculture sector, so it means in rural areas and in Nile Delta areas. If you go through the report, as the Minister of Planning yesterday established and get some discussion, some session of discussion after this report, there's a session completely work with agriculture. When you go for this, so we have two sectors of agriculture in Egypt. One go for the old farmers whom are working during the Nile Delta,
the
from
traditional,
tradition. We call that conventional agriculture.
Right.
And the new sector, it means by working with new reclaimed areas, whom are at about 4 million faddan. This agriculture sector is new in Egypt during the 30 years, and go working with, as we always define, go with good agricultural practice. When you go again for this conventional agriculture, Egypt have the capacity to move or to train these old farmers who work in Nile Delta to go to avoid this chemical fertilizers anymore, and working with a new and recent technology called organic agriculture. This Egypt have facing during the last 10 years with our neighbor countries, look like Saudi Arabia, when they refused to
this is a subject we want to tackle in a while. So basically what you're saying is 50% of the workforce is in the agricultural sector.
Yes.
You have 8 million conventional faddans being cultivated conventionally, and you have 4 million reclaimed faddans, new reclaimed areas. Originally we used to say 2 because of the 1.5 million faddans and the 500. Now we're talking about 4. So since a long time, we've been relying on 8 million fadans.
Yeah.
And now, in less than 6 years, you have added to the cultivable area here in Egypt 4 million fadans.
Yeah. We called it as a great revolution in Egypt. During the last 7 years, we added new area, new cultivar.
You added 50%.
Yes. We added almost 40% more. Because we have to achieve.
So we still didn't achieve the 4 million, but we're on the way.
But the great effort is working in a good manner. It means we go for mechanized agriculture. We don't work with convention anymore. We go for this. What I mean, good agricultural practice. It means that we have to face the market in Arab countries, in European countries. You have to know, by this great revolution, we are the first during the last 3 years in citrus production worldwide.
Citrus production.
Right. Worldwide. So we are the first worldwide.
Citrus here, you're talking oranges,
lemons,
yes.
grapefruits, all six citrus varieties. We are the first worldwide, compared with Spain. So this is our competitor, and there's another competitor in Africa called South Africa. So we are the first before Spain and before South Africa. The second one, because of this 4 million cultivable land, so we are the first also as well in strawberry production. But when you go, compared with Spain. But when you go, for example, that's what I mean to you. We need to achieve more efforts to learn farmers in all the areas how to move from chemical fertilizer to organic agriculture. If we need the safety for Egyptian, and second one, if you are willing to export our agricultural products for Arab countries and in Europe as well.
So teaching the traditional agricultures, the good agricultural practices, which you referred to before the show as GAP.
GAP, yes.
GAP.
This is abbreviation for agricultural practice, yes.
For the good agricultural practices. So here it brings to my mind the issue of rejecting Egyptian exports to Saudi Arabia, which took place recently. Why was that? And what needs to be done in order to avoid this? And why are there two standards, local standard and an export standard? Shouldn't it be unified? So 3 questions here.
The problem here is during this.
First, why was it rejected by countries?
I have to say this looks like a small crisis between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. In this crisis, there is no good strategy and good measurement from Food Safety Association for our agriculture export to Saudi Arabia. And nowadays, I think Dr. Hussein Mansour, one of the eminent professors who leading this Food Safety Association in Egypt, have a good measure, the good standards to how to say it, I mean, to get a strategy. If you want to follow the standards or the Saudi Arabia's Food Safety Association in Saudi Arabia, so we have to follow these standards.
Import requirements.
Yes. I mean, Saudi Arabia have this requirement if you want to approve for food safety.
So what are? Let's take it step by step. Why was the product refused? First of all. And how can we avoid this in the future?
Okay.
Let's answer these 2 questions.
The first question is because we have more than the world limits of chemical fertilizers and pesticides.
Okay.
So we have to, if you want to avoid this, so there is a traceability program from farm to airport. So for citrus production, for example, for Novaria, so we have, for example, 50,000 farmers. So from this farmer to the airport, we have this traceability number. So we have to detect this pesticides, pesticide content in this citrus fruits in farm, and then during the Food Safety Association, and then to the airport. The same way done in Saudi Arabia airport, and in food safety, in Saudi Food Safety Association as well. So get this approved during the last 2 years. So there is a strategy between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. If you want to go through in a successful way, so you have to follow this regulation.
The requirements.
We solved it during the last 2 years.
So, number one, it's the chemicals and fertilizers used.
Yes, chemical and pesticides.
And pesticides used were above the limit.
Yes.
So, we need to make sure that these limits are not surpassed.
Yes.
Locally and internationally.
Locally, I think during the last six months, there is a governmental effort to make the same look like European standards. But there is, I mean, we have to train farmers. We have to train our agricultural engineers how to follow this good agricultural practice that I mentioned to you before. If you go, for example, for our vegetable production, so we have these standards. We have to learn the farmers in all the areas, in all the valley and in the new claimed areas, how to follow for the health benefits of our Egyptian population. As well as when you go for Europe, for Japan, for United States, for even if for 27 countries in Europe, so we have
certain standards to fulfill.
Yes.
Don't we have companies or regulators that monitor this standard before it is exported?
Before, no, but nowadays we have. I have this good news for you we can discuss today. 1 year ago, we have from our Egyptian Parliament that we have we call it a new organic agriculture law. This need an implementation plan, not established yet, but we have nowadays Egyptian organic agriculture law that will go for into force 1 year ago. But we need this. I think 2 months, 3 months by the end of this year. We have this implementation plan. Then I think we will fulfill all the requirement for Egyptian food stuff and for export food stuff.
From my modest understanding, I'm not an expert, organic cultivation is more expensive than the traditional pesticides and fertilizers and so on.
No. In Egypt, we are working during the 25 years to establish, and we have a successful project here in Egypt, leading from my university. So my university, called the University and City University. We have
Sadat University.
Sadat University. So we are working in this area during the 25 years, and we go for organic production for tomatoes, for vegetables, for citrus. Yes, no chemicals. And
why is it that when you go and buy it in a supermarket or a mega market, they're always very expensive compared to the other ones?
This is a matter only of marketing. But when you go forward in depth in a real lands and work with organic fertilizer, we called it biological fertilizers. So we have a good achievement, and the organic production of tomato, for example, is 30% lower, cheaper than the chemical one. Yeah, we have a lot of
30% cheaper.
Yes. For example, for citrus as well, it looks like 50% cheaper in citrus.
So we're being robbed in the city.
The problem is, look like this is what I mentioned to you. This is a market issue, only a market issue.
Marketing issue.
Yes, marketing issue, but only.
Just to whet your appetite. This is organic.
Yes.
This is more healthy.
Yes.
So you have to buy more. You have to pay more.
Yeah. And it need a good effort from our nation, and also from our president Fathy Sisi to get more interest about this organic agriculture law.
Because what you're saying now, since it's cheaper to produce to have organic produce, this is a major competitive edge for this country, whether locally or internationally.
Yeah. You have to know this. We have a study. If we have an organic certified land, 1 million faddan, so it equals 36 million euro. So I think it will be a good investment, billion euro, not a million.
36 billion.
6 billion.
You mean
million.
the production?
No. It means a US dollar, for example, if you export 1 million فدان organic agriculture, so I think it will be 6-fold increase, look like Suez Canal income. Each year.
So 1 million
fadans,
fadans exports
yes.
of organic produce.
Yes.
The annual return is
Yes.
36 billion US dollars.
Yes.
For the produce of 1 million fadans.
Yes. This is not my statement. This is by European agricultural law. It means Egyptians have the potential to work in organic agriculture compared with the Middle East countries. So, for example, Egypt and Tunisia, Egypt and Morocco, Egypt and Algeria, Egypt and Libya, even with Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Israel. So we have all the potential to get in 1 million organic agriculture فدان. And this is, I mean, for example, I get you a good example for this. 1 ton Egyptian grape in Europe, it equal 3 tons of conventional grape in price. So
Egyptian grapes?
Egyptian grapes, if you compare the price of organic grape from Egypt in Europe compared with conventional grape from Egypt, so this 3-fold increase the price. So for example, I will tell you the story. For example, 1 ton grape is 1,200 euro. For conventional one, it's almost 380 or almost 400 euro. So this
no organic.
Increase, yes, if it is organic.
So the return is very high.
Yes, for this, I think this will solve the problem of economic crisis in Egypt if we work in this. So when you compare with this human rights yesterday report, so third of the activities is the agriculture sector, but we need, that's what I mean, I mentioned to you before, we need to learn the farmers and
teach
them how about this agricultural practice, how we can follow, how we can improve our production of apple, how we can production of pear, how we can production of grape in organic ways. So this solves the health problem of you and me and the new generation as well. The key story behind this, if we work in this organic matter, so there is a treaty, United Nations approved this, called it biodiversity of soil. So it means if you get a healthy soil, and we call it immune soil, or called in a specific way, suppressive soil for production. It means the soil is fertile soil, look like our grandfather almost 200 years ago during Mohamed Ali Pasha, 200 years ago. The production, for example, I'll get you this number, 150 years ago in Aswan, in Idfu, strictly, for 1 faddan, 70 ton sugar cane. Nowadays, the same land not reach 35 sugar cane ton.
Why is that?
If we go why, this is a good question. Our grandfather, during the last 200 years, they have, during this Nile flooding, we called it a mud get from the Nile Delta, and get from the Nile.
The
and
silt.
Yes, silt. This silt got we said this to our students in university. 65 elements that enrich the soil to get a good quality of crops. For example, if you go for 2-fold increase of sugar cane, so you have to imagine how about vegetables, how about corn, how about wheat, for example. You have to know that we are the first importer of wheat worldwide. Because we don't have, if we're still frankly speaking, we don't have a good strategy to achieve self-sufficient of wheat. Although we
the production of the faddan is not that much.
No, but if you go for organic, we doubled the production. For example, this in my university work. During the last 10 years, we have a lot of achievement, a good successful experiment. That for example, 1,000 faddan, 2,000 faddan, not like 1 faddan or 2. For 2,000, 3,000 faddan, we achieve 32 ardab per faddan It means for when you compare 5 tons per فدان wheat. If we go for chemical fertilizer, we don't achieve 2 tons per فدان. So the problem, this is what I mean to you. This I think one of your programs, I think we need to learn the farmers that I also confirm the statement. The farmers need to learn good agricultural practice. They are willing, they are curious to know, but I mean...
And they're seeking profit, so if you explain to them that the productivity will grow, that will attract...
They are working by us because of this. Yes, any farmers need to earn the money.
Where is the livestock and the poultry and all of this, where does this come in?
This is a good question. When you go for example, I need to tell you that we import every year almost 10 million tons of red meat every year. If we need to make a good sufficient solution for this, we need to increase the vertical production of a green fodder. For example, we are one of the top countries who are cultivating Egyptian clover. This only specific for Egypt. This Egyptian clover by means of American scientists means that this is the king of green forage worldwide. And if we want to solve the problem of this red meat, so we need to vertical increase. We achieve this in our university. So we get 8-fold increase per فدان.
8-fold increase?
Yes.
In livestock?
No, in green fodder production.
In green fodder.
And this work with ruminant, large ruminant like buffalo, cows, sheep, and goats, even camels
so
as well.
it's the best nutrition for them.
Yes, this if you go for organic meat, if you go for organic milk production, so you have to follow the standards of Europeans like Switzerland and New Zealand, Denmark, like this. So they work with green forage or green fodder. So this is the good nutrition program for this ruminant, to call that cow and the buffalo, look like ruminant, large ruminant, because they need this strategy for feeding. But we changed the strategy during the last 30 years. We called it conventional feed as well. They look like agriculture. So if you need to with us, for example, for poultry, we are one of the top countries worldwide. I think it's third, importing yellow corn and importing soybean. Yellow corn and soybean is the main core for poultry feed production in Egypt. So nowadays you have to know this. 1 ton for poultry feed it look like 10,000 Egyptian pound. So if we go forward, we have a good strategy to solve the problem of production of yellow corn and soybean. These are summer crops. We can solve this problem if we get, for example, per 1 فدان 2 tons, and if we go work with yellow corn, 8 to 10 tons of yellow corn production. So I mean that if you go follow the science and follow the agriculture practice, good agriculture practice, I think you can solve a lot of agriculture problems here that we suffer from.
And especially organic produce makes you makes your investment much more lucrative.
This look like a world trend. If you go for investor here in Egypt.
Is this why you don't see beef in the market?
Yes.
It was supposed to be for 1 year. Now we're talking 5 years, I believe.
Yes.
What should we expect in terms of production?
I think we should. I mean, if we go organic.
No, now we were supposed to wait 1 year for the beef in order to be offered in the market. Now
no. We have in our animal wealth in Egypt at almost to 15 million head. If you go, I mean, for buffalo, cows, goats, sheep, like this. I mean, if we feed it organic feed, so I think we'll solve the problem of fertility. You have to know this. 4 million buffalo in Egypt suffer from infertility problem. So they didn't have a newborn every year. So if we need to solve this, we need to solve the fertility. proper nutrition for fertility, and then we have every year 4 million newborn buffalo, and then every 5 years you have 20 million. Look like your Egyptian wealth of animals.
What do you need for self-sufficiency?
This is what I mean, a proper nutrition program for each type.
I mean the amounts, the numbers. How many do you need for self-sufficiency?
We have to be more than 35 million.
Per year?
Per year.
Per year.
Yeah, and this can achieve if we get a proper feed production for cow, for buffalo.
Now it's how many per year?
15.
15.
Our current wealth is 15, so we need 20 more.
How is all this accommodating the population growth?
Yeah, this is also during the when I followed the report yesterday. Nowadays, our Egyptian population is more than 1 million, 10 million people. I mean by
100 million.
104. By 2030, it will be more than 130 million people. By 2050, it will be more than 150.
At the current rate of 1.94% per year increase, it will reach huge numbers.
But we didn't get in our mind a good strategy how to fulfill this gap of food insufficient for this new generation. So I mean, you have to know this. We have a fixed amount of water, and we have a growing agricultural land that we call it. I mean, also as well, we have to thank our President Fathy for this new mega project. We want to go for Moghra, or go for Nunubaria, for Uwainat, for Khattara depression. I mean, we have this 4 million Faddan more.
4 million Faddans, you're talking around 4 million acres, give or take.
No, per acre it will be, because Faddan is
more than an acre.
Yeah,
so
you're almost 6 million acre. Like
6 million?
Yeah.
All right.
Because it is one Faddan is almost 4,200 square meter, and for 1 acre, 2,500.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you're doing, you have to multiply more.
So 6 million acres.
6 million acres. This is a huge project in the Middle East, I think, also in Africa. But the problem facing this project, we don't have a renewable source of water. We need some kind of energy, not this conventional energy program. So we need wind energy, solar energy to fulfill this irrigation crisis. Or the third one. If you go for agriculture, we call it like a new struggling area with climate change. For example, for mangoes nowadays, and for olive as well. So this climate change decreases the production almost to 30%. So we lose about 70% of our yield crop because we don't have a smart and innovative key solving to solve this problem of climate change. For example, during the last March and April, so this is a flowering state, we have to spraying some special kind of organic fertilizers. I mean, to get this fruit cities to be fixed, and then we have in summer this fruits. Because we don't have this strategy, so we lose most of our production. If you go organic, so you learn farmers how to solve this problem. For example, for olive, for carrots, for tomatoes. I mean, for this. I mean, I think Egypt has still this potential to solve in agriculture by agriculture ways, not the conventional one. I mean, I also invite all the experts in agriculture department how to fill the gap of many kinds of water, many kinds of agriculture sector.
Dr. Mohamed Fathy Salem, Professor of Organic Agriculture in Sadat University, thank you very much for joining me on the show. You certainly enlightened us, but I do believe there are a lot of topics that we need to discuss, and hopefully we will have the pleasure of your presence in other shows. Thank you very much for being with us
Mr. Aina.
here on the show. And it was a pleasure being with you. Same time next week. That's when we're going to see you.